enthusiasts, how you doing? Welcome back. It's part 40 of the Project Kit build, and I guess this is the one everyone's been waiting for. So this is probably not the final episode, but it's the final one before the car gets unveiled properly at the London to Brighton mini run on Sunday. So currently it is Thursday evening for me filming this, and I'll be uploading this and you'll be watching this on Friday evening as of now. So as of sort of 10 o'clock Thursday evening, KITT does not have an MOT and isn't road legal. So it goes for its MOT at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And you're probably thinking to yourself, come on guys, I've seen this car, it's nearly complete. Why haven't you got it done already? Well, let me tell you, it was booked in for an MOT on Monday. Mark drove it down for the MOT test and they refused to test it. They wouldn't test it. So Mark phoned me up. He said, Keith, they've refused to test the car. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what have we done? Why wouldn't they test the car? Well, can you guess? It was pretty simple in the end. So when we put the car back together, we have forgot to bolt on one thing or rivet on one thing, and that was the VIN plate, the chassis plate. So Mark took it for an MOT. They check the chassis number against the database, and of course with no chassis number, no VIN plate on there, they couldn't test it. So you think, so I said to Mark, well that's all right, just go and get the VIN plate, rivet it on, put it back in for an MOT. So rewind a few months, the VIN plate was taken off before the shell went for sandblasting and put in a safe place. Mark cannot remember where that safe place was, so he spent hours looking for the VIN plate, cannot find it anywhere, kind of conceded that it's gone, it's missing, and has had to order up another VIN plate for it. So because I have to do security checks, make sure you're the owner, it's the right car, that sort of thing, they usually take a week to get you a VIN plate. That's with all the proof of ownership. Luckily, Mark managed to get it fast-tracked. I think they literally turned it around in, it was sort of 24 to 48 hours. So by Wednesday, Mark had another VIN plate, obviously ready to go back down for an MOT, but they couldn't then fit one until Friday. So that's where we are at the moment. So it goes for its MOT tomorrow for me. So you know, it's all happened, it's all finished by the time you're watching this. It goes for an MOT at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Fingers crossed everything is okay. Now I know it's a bare shell nut and bolt rebuild. There should be nothing wrong with it at all. Certainly no corrosion. Everything's either new or refurbished. But do you know what? It's just the little things, isn't it? It's things like the headlamp aim, the exhaust emissions. You know, have you left something dangling somewhere? Is a brake pipe not routed correctly? So it's all those things. To be fair, we've been really flat out getting it finished, so we haven't had a chance really to go over it and sort of idiot check everything. So just fingers crossed, it'll all go through tomorrow. If it doesn't, it will still be there one way or the other. Even if we end up putting it on a trailer or a recovery truck to get it there, it will be at London to Brighton. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it as well, because you know, when you see it in person, you see that paint finish up close, you see the attention to detail that's gone into it. It really does it justice. So hopefully you'll be able to see that. If you're not able to get down to London and Brighton in person, don't worry, obviously I will be videoing it and I'll be putting another update on YouTube soon after the London to Brighton. So let's get stuck into this last bit of build, last bit of update before London to Brighton. At the end of today's footage, we are 99.9% finished. So it's as good as finished, just the MOT to go. But please do me a favour, give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, don't give it a thumbs down. It's always a little bit disappointing when I see thumbs down there. Leave a comment, hit subscribe please. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. 68% of my views are from non-subscribers, so I know there's lots of people that are sitting there watching, not subscribed. So thumbs up, subscribe, please subscribe. It helps me, it helps the channel. It gives myself motivation, it gives Mark motivation, and it just makes it kind of worthwhile doing it. So We really appreciate your support. I really appreciate all the comments and the enthusiasm you show, and hopefully it will pay off and you'll be able to see this fantastic car on Sunday. So sit back, enjoy, and keep your fingers crossed for the MOT. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Right, guys, let's get into it then. It's been a bit of a full-on week getting all of these uploaded, but we're there. So, we're kind of not quite the final episode, but nearly there. So, let's narrate our way through this one. You can see the grille going on there with the KITT light installed, and it's got quick release grille buttons. So that's actually an old like Austin grille off probably a Mini City or something like that, but it's been painted gloss black. It looks really nice, and Mark has got carbon fibre grille surrounds to go on it that have been painted gloss black too, so they'll look really nice. And sorry, bit of a distraction on the right there. If you're into minis, that's like a unicorn car there on the right, an ERA turbo. I think they only made about 99 UK cars, so that is a UK spec ERA turbo. It's called Phil. Maybe I'll explain that in a later episode. But I'm down today helping Mark out, and I'm not working on KITT, I'm working on Phil the ERA. Just a little job, fitting a new inlet manifold plenum so the ERA can have a dump valve on it, because if you've got a turbo car, yeah, you've got to have a dump valve, haven't you? They get boring after a while, but you know, at some point you have to have one on there. Bit of a pain to do on an ERA because it's really tight for space under there. When I had an ERA and I fit the dump valve, it was quite easy to get the plenum off because it didn't have any bulkhead insulation on it, and the engine seemed a little bit further forward. But on Mark's ERA, I had to undo the engine mounts, and there's 4 engine mounts or 4 engine steadies on an ERA, 2 top and 2 bottom, just to pull the engine forward about an inch so I could get the inlet plenum on. So anyway, we're meant to be talking about KITT, so ignore the very nice looking ERA on the right hand side there, and we'll turn our attention back to KITT. So it's looking really complete now, isn't it? You know, put some wheels on that, number plates, give it a bit of a wash, and it's done pretty much, isn't it? Or certainly by the looks of it. It's certainly looking nice with the wheel arches on there now. And you can see those TCR halo headlights on the front there. So where the indicators would be down the bottom, they're just blanks now. There is nothing there. So I say there's nothing there. Of course it's KITT, isn't it? So we will say they are the sensors for the guided missiles or active cruise control. I don't know, use your imagination. A few people have asked what next. So what after KITT? You know, they've been watching this for months now. It's been going on 6 months, this build. It is pretty much 6 months to the date, or will be, on the London to Brighton run. So rusty shell to show car. Yeah, what next? So you might be looking at it now. So that ERA on the right, Mark wants to nut and bolt rebuild that as well. So that's going to be a job. That's actually going to be quite a difficult job, because it's not like you can just strip it apart, buy a load of new bits for it. Everything is going to want refurbishing or remanufacturing on that, because you just can't buy ERA parts. Well, you can some, but you can't get hold of some stuff. Body kit, for example, you cannot just buy one off the shelf. All the brackets and things like that, they're kind of one-offs. So maybe that is something to look forward to. We're just trying to move Bolt out of the way here, so Bolt didn't want to start. thought it might have been a battery issue, and it's actually got a new battery on it, but it had a new battery, booster pack connected, and then we connected up another battery as well, and it's still cranking over really slowly. It was drawing 180 amps through the starter motor though, so pretty sure the starter motor has died on bolt, and chances are it was probably dying towards the end of the track days last year, because it was just getting slower and slower to start. As I say, thought it might be the battery, but maybe not. So off I go there in the ERA just to see if the dump valve was working, and it wasn't. So I had to come back, fiddle around with it. In the end it turned out to be just the spring on the dump valve was too strong, so it doesn't run high boost and ERA, and the dump valve on there obviously had a spring in it for high boost. So we got around that just using a weaker spring. Mark's fitting up the alloy wheels now. It's probably the first time you've seen these wheels actually. So Mark did actually want some wider wheels on it, but it was just going to cause so much problem with the wheel arches and, you know, causing it to torque steer and tram line and that sort of thing. And again, as I've said right from the start, you know, this is Lucy's car. It needs to be nice to drive. It needs to be comfortable. So it needs to obviously look very nice as well, but big wide wheels and lots of offset doesn't necessarily make a Mini drive nicely. Generally gives you lots of torque steer.
Michael, that car, it could have been my twin. It was exactly like me.
Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Obviously just needs synchronising a bit, but yeah, a little bit of a tweak here and there. KITT is alive. So this is where we run into the first sort of big problem with the build actually. I don't think we've had much problems as we've gone along. Oh, we did. We had the head gasket issue, but the problem here was that it had no drive, but it had drive the other day. So couldn't quite work out what was going on here. It was weird. Put it up in the air like that and it had drive. Put it down on the ground, no drive. Up in the air, it's got drive. Very, very odd. Down on the ground, no drive. So we did suss it in the end. What it was the drive shaft on that offside front wasn't fitted fully in the pot joint, and as you were lifting it up in the air, it was just engaging in the pot joint. So that side, for some reason, didn't want to go in the pot joint. And we took it apart, dismantled it completely, put it on the bench, and the splines were twisted on the shaft. Now, whether that twisted when we were moving around because it wasn't in fully, I don't know. I suspect it was that, but there was a reason why the drive shaft wouldn't go in the first place. So anyway, a little bit of filing down, just reprofiling the splines, and it did go in eventually. It was a bit of a tight fit, but it did go in. And yeah, so I miss off the very end of this, but we did get it back together and we got it driving. So we are coming to the end here. So like I said at the start, we will see you at London to Brighton. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. Bye.